Oh, look at that. They're going to be qualifying at night. Awesome. Anywho, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the B&R Racing Network. Brought to you by the Bearded Bear Customs Fixed Cup Series. I know it's very big. As these truckers, sorry. These drivers will be taking the Gen 7 cars to Auto Club. Go with a little race information here beforehand. You see here, we're in Fontana, California. It's a 2-mile track. The current track temp is 67 degrees. The weather outside, oh sorry, no, that's the weather outside. Weather outside 67 degrees, it is 32% humidity, clear skies, 6-mile-per-hour wind. Yeah, 75% fuel, 100 laps, which is 100 miles. To get 4 sets of tires, no quick fixes, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. Now I will turn the table over to my broadcasting partner, Will. Good evening, and you can tell these fans a little bit about Auto Club.
Yes, indeed, Brian. Good evening. Auto Club Speedway, or California Speedway, Fontana, California. All very well-known names of this track. So, NASCAR started racing here annually from 1997 until 2003. If you don't, they still wouldn't hear the COVID year, right? The pandemic year.
Yes.
Okay. So they basically needed a compromise, or not necessarily a compromise, but a replacement from Ontario Motor Speedway and Riverside International, which was the 2 tracks in or about the Southern California region where NASCAR would go annually all the way up until, I believe it was 87 when the last race was held at Riverside. And so for decades, NASCAR ran in Southern California, either at Ontario Motor Speedway or at Riverside. Then, for about, like we see here, there was a 10-year gap where NASCAR didn't really run in that area. They started going to Sonoma, California, after the Riverside International kind of left us, but they didn't have a Southern California racetrack to go to until Auto Club was built. Roger Penske built this track to have another speedway type facility, similar to Michigan, but not as high banked as Michigan. This track, let me see here. Trying to find the banking. Here we go. In the turns, there is 14 degrees of banking. The front stretch has 11, and the back stretch has 3 degrees. So the back stretch is going to be a lot more even and a lot more flatter to run on the back straightaway than on the front stretch. The front stretch, you're going to be leaning a little bit more. So there's also interior road courses for superbike competition or sports car world competition of some type. The motorcycle course is both courses on the infield is rather narrow, but we're not here to really talk about the road course version of the track. But yes, Roger Penske, like I talked about, broke ground on this track. It was, I want to say, shortly after the year of 1995, and it took a couple of years, or at least a good year or so, to actually get it completed. So, yes, Auto Club, Fontana, California, like we talked about.
Yes, sir.
The motorcycle course, or one of the interior courses, kind of looks like a awkward dagger.
Robin and Mario would have scraped to that wall.
Yes, Greg Moore tragically
Thank you,
lost his
Pete.
life here in the 1999 kart race. What happened, Brian? I'm sorry. We kind of talked over each other.
Oh no, now it pops up. It says Pete Woodrum shared. Anyway, the starting grid real quick. P1 will be Skylar Sixton. P2 will be Philip Bridgman. P3 will be Joe Stipe. P4 will be Jason Pearson. P5 will be James Hudson. P6 will be Cameron Smith. P7 will be Justin Steves. P8 will be Aaron Bradford. P9 will be Pete Woodrum. P10 will be Skylar Sixton. Anthony Lane, my bad. P11 will be Chris Campbell. P12 will be JD O'Brien. P13 will be Tyler Myers. P14 will be Jaden Sanchez. P15 will be Robert Amaral. P16 will be Gary Madu. I know what I forgot to do. There you go. Ah, that old throwback paint scheme. The red paint for Martinsville. So well, now these. Oh, Richard made it. Look at that. Now their spotters tell them how many cars are left to grid. I noticed that when I'm sitting there when I did two races at Martinsville. And as you see here, Will, this pace car is about to pull off. So, Will, Skylar Sixton is going to lead the field to green here tonight. Always a nice welcome back for him. Oh, excuse me. Whoa. Who is that? Oh, that's a, never mind, that's it threw me for a loop. That is a number... that's an Austin Dillon Bass Pro Shop card. Anyway, Will, Auto Club under the lights, a nice, very cool track. As we'll come here and pull this up. Track temp is 67 degrees. The weather outside is 66. So,
very cool track. Could make for some very interesting and tight racing to start us off. Just time will do tell.
And the green flag is out.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
You see here, Will, we get it ready to go into turn one. I think already some 3 wideage back there. No. They are all spaced out at the moment.
And with so many lanes on this track, that is very capable of doing, plenty of room here at Auto Club to race, but it does kind of get quite spacious in the corners still.
Oh, Saber Cameron. There you go. Good save.
Tremendous save.
And took the air off of him, Will. So that's what had happened there. But you see here, Philip is in the lead, running that bottom. But the problem is, well, how long can you secure that bottom lane? Right now, we have the whole top 16 in the blanket here.
It's only just about 2.5 seconds separating the entire field at the moment.
see Cameron Smith
They're
hitting
gonna
by JD.
You're going to be quite racy, you know, from the drop of the green flag to restart. You know, that's probably when you're going to be most competitive. There is going to be some tire fall off here this evening. Just don't know how extensive.
Anyway, well, I know you like to do the pit road report here. About how many laps before we start to see them come down to make their the pit stop?
30 to 35 laps, Brian, maybe 31 to 35, so that's what we're looking at the moment this evening. I'd be surprised if anybody went longer than 35.
Maybe the ones in the back, maybe, but...
Yeah, maybe 36 at the most. So maybe when we do have tire fall off, maybe a 1.25 seconds to a 1.5 seconds of tire fall off of lap time, that is.
I see Christopher Campbell getting by Pete Woodrum there. Hudson and John's having a battle back there for P14. Well, as we see here, everybody in the back is trying to run the outside lane. So now they're back there 3 wide, Will.
Yeah, 3 wide for about almost last place. These guys are extremely racy back here.
Richard Johns in that 17 Bass Pro Shops Club car there. Chevy machine. Kind of like an Austin Dillon, I think.
Yes. You know, I went to Bass Pro Shops. I was hoping they would have some NASCAR merchandise. Either Austin Dillon, you know, some NASCAR driver, Martin Truex Jr., somebody like that, right? No, they do not. At least not at my Bass Pro Shops, so I was kind of disappointed in that.
Right. Yeah, I would be disappointed too, because you would figure. We got some swapping for the positions up here towards the front. You see Bradford now gets into that 3rd position. Took that away from JP.
Further on back, you have Jaden Sanchez taking position away from Pete Woodrum. He's setting his sights on Tyler Myers, trying to break into the top 10. As Hudson and Woodrum battling for 12th and 13th now. Richard Johns still in that 17 club, battling as well for 14th, you know, so...
Richard normally does good. Once he gets in the rhythm and finds what lane that he wants. You know, it's kind of like Kansas. He had a very good run at Kansas.
I do agree. Auto Club is very similar to Kansas. It's just bigger. Gotta wonder and see if these guys can go caution free like the trucks did.
If so, then they should get done in no time.
And did we just jinx it? But who knows?
We'll have to see. You see here, Joe Stipe looking to take P3 away from Bradford there, Will.
As they drag race down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. And they also have Jason Pearson right behind them. Bradford's going to have some good high line momentum still wrapped up on the high side as they're still drag racing now down the front stretch, but Joe almost has him. He's probably going to try to do a slide job on him here, but oh, look at Pearson. Pearson had a good run down the front straightaway. Justin Steve's a part of this battle too. As we predicted, there goes Joe sliding up on the back straightaway in front of Bradford. So now Justin has the toe on the outside lane.
Yep. Joe's going to throw that dirty air at that 20 machine there, Will. So, you know, once you get all that clean air, it's a lot better. But now we get closer over here up in the front. Well, we see Skylar Sixton now closes that gap a little bit on Phillip.
Pretty much have the same line. They're both kind of diamonding the corner in 1 and 2. I think they're a little bit different in 3 and 4. Like you say, Skylar trying to stalk the back of the 48.
See there, he gets a good run off. Still going to use Phillip's weight there to pull him a little bit closer.
Something happened to JP. He lost a couple of positions in the fray between Bradford and Steve. So not sure if he maybe could have scraped the wall or something, but he fell down to 7th position behind Lane there in the 6th position. Now under attack by Cameron Smith, so he could have slid the car. Good possibility after we went back to watching the battle for the lead. Now Sixton still all over the back of Bridgman.
He's keeping that close gap for Phillip. He's not letting Phillip escape too much. I think Phillip gets a better 1 and 2 than Skylar does. Skylar can reel him in 3 and 4. So Phillip's stronger 1 and 2 than he is in 3 and 4.
I think Phillip's entry is strong in 1, but Skylar gets a good toe down the back straightaway and almost pulls alongside of him on corner exit of 4, but just can't quite get there. It can be difficult to pass one another if you're kind of matching the same speed as one another as well, so dirty air truly plays a big, big part in this race, or at this track, for sure, with these cars.
Hey, see the backpack's running the outside lane, and then these two here in front of Cameron, and Cameron is running that low lane there. So, we have Hudson and John's running that bottom two as well, trying to figure out what way they can get on by those fellas in the back. Oh no! Caution is out. As we'll get a little bit of a closer look here. So you see here coming out of turns 3 and 4. I don't know if Campbell's still running the outside. Not too sure if Hudson tries to come up. I think Campbell's...
They both just have a moment of where one's coming up, one's coming down slightly, and Christopher keeps coming down a little bit. I think he might have thought he was clear, and runs into the Ricky Rudd 28 machine there. Ricky Rudd, Jamie McMurray inspired paint scheme.
Yeah, but no damage on neither of the cars, so they end up keeping it.
It's just probably light cosmetic work done to both cars, so everybody should be good.
Question is, do they pit? Still early in.
Oh yeah, most certainly. I think everybody would pit. It may be still early, but you know, a good 14, 15 laps on your tires around here is quite enough to go ahead and bring them down and pit now. But this just means that they can extend that if they do, if they are able to stay green long enough to have a pit stop, that just ensures that they can go a little bit farther instead of the opening 30 to 35 laps of this race. It's going to put them to be about
Yep.
somewhere around 56, maybe 60, somewhere around there, maybe.
So Bridgman.
Maybe even lower than that.
Oh. And Bradford, Skyler, Steves, Pearson, Jaden, Lane, Joe. That's a close one.
Yeah, if they're able to go back green and stay green, probably anywhere from lap 47. No. Yeah, like 49 to 56, maybe somewhere around there. That sounds about good.
Yeah, I would say about 49.
Did Richard stay out, or did he just come in and get gas? What happened with Richard?
Richard ended up staying out.
Oh, okay. Well, he wasn't racing too hard, even though it looked like he was. He was just hanging out in the back. So maybe it could benefit him.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he won't drop like a rock on the restart with the fresh tires around him, but
He has control.
yeah, good point. What you eating, Brian?
It's a little bit of a cereal bar.
Oh, a cereal bar.
Mm-hmm. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch one. I figured they're under caution, so why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat me a bowl of cereal after this race.
There you go.
So 18 laps in the books. We're going to get the restart at lap 19 of 100. Richard Johns, like he said, has command of the race lead. Philip Bridgman to his inside. Richard choosing the outside lane. Skyler Sixton, then Aaron Bradford.
This is going to be
Jason Pearson. Yep, for sure.
Alright, well, as we come back to green, Richard Johns is the control car. And the green flag is out. Ooh.
What an even Stevens restart that was.
Yep.
Watching them all fan out into turns 1 and 2 for the second time of asking under a restart or start.
See, they have 3 wide back there. With JD. Oh, Jaden, no! Oh!
Everybody able to split Jaden, and Jaden keeps it from being worse than what it could have been. So excellent car control from everybody involved, and especially Jaden there. So Brian, stop that. So it comes out of nowhere and it creeps me out like an RKO. So
See, hitter about to go 3 wide again. Will Woodrum, the 81 and the 33. Very tight racing.
Oh, is he going to walk up into the 1? Oh, he almost walked up into the 1, if not. Oh, man, and Woodrum almost walled it, trying to break away to give room. Here comes Hudson and the 28 machine. Just intense racing back here for what positions is this? This is 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. So, would not be surprised if Jaden's toe might be askew just a little bit from just how hard he had to correct it back into the wall to keep it out of everybody. So, you never can tell, Brian. Those hits may look a bit soft, but going at those speeds, they're pretty hard.
Hitting hard. Oh yeah, when he hit hard, he break a toe link or oh, a lot of swapping back and forth. Had me all confused. I thought someone wrecked.
I think Tyler almost did, or Justin, somebody almost did. Richard John still in the lead, but Bridgman all over him. I think they could be swapping positions. Yes, indeed. Philip getting by Richard. As we documented, Richard on 16 lap older tires than everybody else, at least by 16 laps, maybe 14, 16, something around that ballpark. So Skyler and Philip both getting by Richard, promoting him back to third at the moment. Now Bradford looking to get by Richard. But Bradford is under fire from JP as this squabble further on back taking its toll.
Happened with Campbell.
Something did happen with CC.
Go back and see.
I was going to say maybe try to rewind it and see what happened because he was up here hard racing. Looks like Campbell kind of getting shoved into the corner. That's a bit too early to slow-mo it, Brian.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, that camera is too far away from the contact or whatever it could have been. I think Tyler might get to him in the center of the corner and hit him. And that's what gets Campbell askew. Or Cameron, somebody hits him, that's for sure. Not sure which one of the single-digit cars it is, but one of those, either the 8 or the 9, not, like I said, not sure who, till we can... Tyler's definitely going to take the air off of him to make him probably have to pedal it here. And Cameron gets into his fender. That's still enough to... Oh boy, what was the caution for? Let's find out, folks. As we were still doing some good detective work, nevertheless. Oh, Pete Woodrum have a come together with... Is this Hudson? So, looks like they're 3 wide yet again. Oh, yeah, we were. And just kind of...
Maybe an arc positioning. So this kind of look like the Campbell. See there, he's on the brakes, locking her down. Oh, Tyler. Oh,
he still got a netcode piece or some type of piece of that.
You see, Pete.
That's still a heavy blow for Pete.
That is. So, we now know Richard Johns did pit. So, he got them, freshies on now, so. So 16 up to the front, where I didn't see he got by Bridgman. Then Bradford and Pearson and Stipe, Steve, Smith, Lane, O'Brien, and Hudson. Then you see Sanchez and Pete looking to fix that car up. A lot of this is just very hard, tight racing, Will. You see Richard coming back down to top off. You see there as Skyler is going to take the outside lane, Will. Skyler's got a good car tonight, Will, so we'll see how long he can hang on to it. AB looks pretty good. JP. Justin's up there in the top 5. Joe's been getting good and good with these cars. You know, this is his first actual full season in these Gen 7 cars, so. You see there, Richard? I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was just going to say, we could say gooder and gooder, that works too, like. I was just trying to help you.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good.
Good and good. Philip found the Martinsville kind of paying homage to Hendrick's 40th anniversary paint scheme, if I'm not mistaken. So I like the way that they pop on some of the cars. That is cool.
Yep. Anyway, Skyler to the front. Green flag is out. Slow start by JP, Will. Just wasn't ready for Skyler to take off, shall we say.
Oh, leader discretion in that restart zone, right? So he went when he wanted to go in that zone, so.
Oh, Joe! Joe's getting it spicy up there. Oh boy, 3 wide. 3 wide.
3 wide, and iRacing don't want us to see it.
Oh God.
As Philip trying to take the lead back, taking it away from Skyler. They're having a drag race going down the front straightaway. But 3 wide, like you said, they're trying to get it straightened out. They're just so racy here on these restarts, as we've already talked about.
Oh yeah, they are.
Skyler really hanging tough on the outside, though. He's fighting back against Philip. He's going to take the lead back as they go down the back straightaway. As everybody's still racy back here. Look at them go. Almost like a fighter squadron in the corners.
So
even down the straightaways.
Hudson is JP's brother. That's good. That was pretty much fun. So. Oh
yes.
Right in the wall. See there, getting it up there. Good job.
Oh, Cameron got in the wall too. So synchronized wall riding for Hudson. 1 and 2.
Oh, never mind. Told us to hell with that. Back there with Tyler.
Skyler and Philip still exchanging blows for the lead as the battle ensues behind them for 3rd position. So Joe Stite, Cameron Smith, Aaron Bradford, Jason Pearson, Hudson, Steves. That is the battle for 3rd position. The battle for 9th position is Tyler Myers, Lane, Richard Johns, J.D. O'Brien, and you might as well throw Christopher Campbell possibly in the mix with that with Jaden Sanchez.
Boy, these guys are hard charging, Will. They're hard chargers. Anyway, Will, you got how the point spread looks at the moment.
indeed. I was going to either talk about it while we were back green flag or possibly under the next caution.
Yeah,
As Philip looks to take the lead away.
Yeah, you can do under the next caution. It's a little bit more quieter.
Alright, a little less action around the house. So yes, Philip taking the lead away as this battle still ensuing behind. Joe, though, has third position at the moment. Cameron Smith, JP, Hudson, Bradford. That's the battle for fourth position now. As like we talked about, Joe trying to drive away, break the toe from behind. He's actually trying to catch up to Skyler now. He's just within range, I feel like. Maybe a little, might need another tenth or two, but Skyler trying to fight back against Bridgman, take the lead away from Bridgman. Richard Johns getting his way back into the top 10. He's now in ninth position, taking the position away from Myers. Now going after Bradford as he really down there on the inside, slid up on corner exit right in front of Bradford.
But his battle for fourth is heating up. Uh-oh.
Now,
I think Joe Snipes making his name up here.
Yeah, Joe is now all over the back of Skyler. Looking into turn one.
Oh boy, do we see a repeat of iRacing Super Speedway?
Well, one would hope not, but you see Philip going all the way down, dumping the dirty air onto the Ford, the front end of the number 4.
But Richard's making that ground up because he is one of the first cars on the freshies. From that last pit stop, so. Philip hates to see, oh, Joe, easy. You see Cameron there going to take P3 away from Joe.
These guys finally getting their car to come to life. Everybody got kind of racy up here. Now everybody retracted back to the big battle group that we just saw squabbling over fourth position.
Yeah, you can throw a blanket over this top 8 right here. The last one up here is Richard Johns. So, all 8 of them up here. Oh no! Easy.
Skyler now looking back to the lead against Bridgman. Going to the inside now. Oh, 3 wide for a mere moment.
Oh! Oh, poor Skyler. No! I hate to see it.
One of the best cars so far of the evening. Into some trouble.
Hate to see it for him. Strong car.
You truly do.
Strong car was able to keep it up there. Battle Phillip side by side, and it looked like the air might have got taken off, or he is shunted. One of the two. I don't know. We will have to go back and see what had happened.
This looked like some really hard-nosed, tight racing coming up off the corner. Like we talked about, this front straightaway isn't so straight. Could have also just got loose off the corner with the car behind him, how they were.
Well, we'll see.
I think it all starts with Cameron going all the way downstairs, moving Skylar up the track into Bridgman, and he's just going to get his car upset from that moment on, still trying to wrangle it and have it under control. So it was a B-52 bomber that went in like a Stuka, and that was the Napa know-how.
Oh, a little contact by Phil. Cameron loosens up a little bit, takes that dirty air off, and then really hate to see it, Will. Really hate to see it for Skylar.
.48, 24, 17 or 9, whoever you want to decide gets third place. Then you have the 4 and the 28, and then behind them is the 13 of JP. After losing Skylar up here in the main battle pack.
I hate to see that for Skylar, because Skylar was one of my picks. Really
Justin
good.
now taking the battle to Bridgman. He's got there. He's alongside.
Oh, Cameron slided up,
Oh, Richard.
which forces Richard to use a little bit of the brakes there. Now he slides back here with the 3 wide, with the 4 and the 28.
And what a wacky race this has kind of turned into, with this big battle group up here. I say big, just 8, 7 cars under a blanket. We had 8.
I agree with you, Skylar. That's way too early to be doing all that stuff. Like I said, man, I hate to see it for you. You were a dominant force. You probably were the only one to maybe give Philip a run for his money. But really hate
Justin's
to see
really
that
trying to do that now. Yeah, I hate to see it for you too, Skylar. I absolutely agree with that assessment. It was a dive bomb. If you most certainly can't, if you know your car can't, perform a dive bomb maneuver cleanly, then don't do it. Really is all I have to say. Like, dive bombs like that are mainly preferred to see on the last lap. Not lap, what was that, like lap 36?
See here, that leads shuffling up between Richard Johns.
Yes, it is.
Justin Steves.
Richard Johns, Justin's. Yep, I'll go. Yes, sorry, Brian.
No, you're
I'm
good.
just so eager to talk over you all the time.
No, you're good.
Talk over anybody,
You see,
Hudson.
I was about to say, Hudson getting on by Cameron Smith there. Going to start shuffling Cameron back a little bit more. Another 6 laps. Drivers will be halfway.
So you have kind of 2 battle packs. You have the 7-car battle pack, then you have about a 4-car battle pack with Campbell's, Myers, Lane, Bradford back there, 8th through 11th.
Yeah, but we see here Richard did take the lead away from Justin. He also does have a little bit more extra fuel than some of these, and the freshest of all freshies of tires. Yes, Skylar, that's what me and Will were saying. Lap 37 was a little bit too early. Absolutely, lots of racing left. Hate to see it for you, man, really do. Just get your car fixed and continue to race hard and just do your best to go out there and race them hard. That's it, really. I mean,
Well, Brian, truly.
Boy, Philip got swallowed up quick, didn't he?
Well, in a way, we're finally getting a long run under our belt here, a true long run here. Unfortunately, didn't really see a caution for the Sigston incident. Thank goodness I'm not a race director, right? But, because you know how itchy a trigger finger for a caution can be at times, you know, Brian. But, this is truly, I would have to say, our longest run of the evening. So you're most certainly going to see the comers and goers spread across the field now. Who's going to have the 10 lap speed, the 15 lap speed, the 20, 25, 30, and so on to get to that, hopefully, green flag pit stop. Skyler coming out of the pits, finally having repairs done to the car, but that's 9 laps later, and unless we have a spill of cautions that is just 10 or so cautions, you know, there's really no way of getting those laps back, unfortunately, for Skyler.
Never know.
Jimmy McMurray, I think, did it at Talladega one year. I think he was like 6 or 7 laps down, but they had like 12 or 15 cautions that day, so go figure. Richard John's in the lead by 1/4 of a second over Justin Steeves. He's got Hudson in 3rd place behind Steeves. Joe Stipe, he's been consistently up here in the top 5 or thereabouts all evening long, I'd have to say.
I would have to agree with you. Next time by will, they will be over halfway. So we should start seeing some green flag pit stops. Oh. See Philip scrape the wall there.
So Justin trying to take the fight to Richard. They're probably side by side. Or thereabout. Oh, Justin tucked up right behind him. Never mind, I got all excited. I guess he took the sandbagging joke personally. But anyway, 51 laps in the books and 48 more to go. Take one down, you pass it around.
99
and
miles, 9 on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, this is about to get interesting here. You see Skyler now looking to run down Cameron Smith. He's probably going to show him some displeasure of that 3-wide ordeal, which is totally understandable. I would too, especially that early. So, you see there Philip Bridgman now in the pits. Lane. You go Skyler getting that pull down the backstretch, Will.
yeah, he definitely has fresh tires. You know, he just came out the pits from having his car repaired, so pit stops are occurring, I do believe. Green flag cycle of pit stops. You have Lane in the pits, Bridgman in the pits.
You see Cameron now pitting.
Along with JP.
Yep. Oh, Justin pitted too. But Richard John's still out here on track. Good run by Richard with the strategy. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like you talked about, Richard came in, you know, kind of topped off or you know, got extra fuel. Now this is going to throw the race on its head even more, Brian.
Here, leaving the pits.
Looks like the car just steps out from underneath him on those cold tires, Brian. Maybe hit one of those bumps down there on the apron a bit too harshly, maybe, or just the cold tires just caught him out getting back up. You just hate to see that, but
all these drivers will get their laps back who went a lap down.
That's a good point. Just about everybody should get the wave around except for Cameron, right? Since he was the cause of the caution, right?
Well, if Cameron stayed out, then he gets it back.
Oh, well that...
High racing is a little weird.
I mean, he basically flat spotted his tires, though. You would think, making that slide.
Yep.
If it'd be me, I would want to just come down and get another set of tires just to be on the safe side of things. So, drivers still can't make it on fuel.
Nope.
So we could have the chance of seeing another green flag pit stop.
Yep. Oh, Flame was 2 laps down. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Skyler was 9, now he's 8. The problem is, I think all those guys will start single file if they got the wave around. No, they won't. I think only one of them will get the lucky dog. If the rest of them stay out. I don't know who it was. It might have been Philip, Justin. Can't remember. Might have been Philip. I think Philip starts at the tail end of the longest line.
Well, all the wave around cars would start at the tail end of the longest line.
There you go. So Richard Johns will lead the field back green.
Yes, Philip would start behind. Still a great question. Yes, Philip would have to start even behind the wave around cars, I think.
Well, right now it's got him lined up right there behind Tyler.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Good point.
So he must have came out at the right spot. So Boyd,
well, if there would have been more cars, not a lap down, he would have had to start further back instead of just 2 rows back, right? Or
yeah,
2.5 rows back. if nobody would have took the wave around, he would have had to start behind the lap down cars. That's how the rule goes. But because we had cars take the wave around,
And the green flag is out.
well, Skyler got one of his 9 laps back.
Yep. So Richard Johns leads his field. We're about over halfway, so
I forgot to do the points thingy.
you're right. I'm sure there'll be another one. You see Justin Steves being under attack by Tyler Myers here. Anyway, well, we can do our favorite portion of the night if we would like.
Yeah, we could.
Before another shindig happens. Alright guys, we're going to go to mine and Will's favorite part of the night. We're going to give you guys the sounds of the cars around Autofield. Really?
Well, Brian, 69 laps in the books here, about to be completed. Out of 100. This would be prime opportunity of maybe short pit. If you think about it, you know, you're going to be right in that, you know, that the pit window's open. If you need to take that final pit stop, like we talked about as they exited pits, coming out of the pits for the previous caution, you know, we talked about not everybody, you know, you're not going to be able to make it home from there. You know, there was about 40... Oh, he was part of a 3-wide pinball sandwich, and coming across Jaden's nose. You're going to have to rewind that a little bit further. Just... Yeah, there we go. There, okay. Yeah, it just gets a bit tight, walks it up the track. Unfortunately, JD's already there. He's like, buddy, I'm here. And, oh, no. Oh, man, what a hard impact to the inside retaining wall way down yonder. And that might be done day for Cameron. That car is going to be wobbling and crabbing. So he's going to have a heck of a ride limping that machine back to pit road. Luckily, that shunt happened off the racing surface, so luckily that time iRacing said, not today, guys. We're just going to keep it green.
Real life, that's
No, that's definitely a caution. Justin Steeves and Philip Bridgman going at it. Bridgman falling almost into the clutches of Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers using the Lucas Oil paint scheme that, you know, Rowdy Bush went to victory lane here with a couple of years ago, right? So
hit the wall there.
Last year it was. I said a couple. It was only a year ago. He's only been with OCR for 1 year, not 2.
Oh, Cameron's
oh my goodness.
with a broke car.
Yeah, with a broke, you're correct. That's still broken, Cameron.
Yep, he's blown up. Get her on the apron. Get her on the apron. $74,100. Campbell was up there, Will, but he had some scrapings to that wall when he got up behind the Myers mobile. That dirty air just got him very, very tight.
And that'll do it to you here at Auto Club. About to be 25 laps remaining in this race, Brian.
Yep.
And when do you start to pit? Would you have wanted to kind of maybe take the gamble and short pit, get the fresh tires on, see what ground you can gain, and then have to defend it with the worn tires later in the final run? Or do you want to have to wait to pit when you truly need to, when you're about out of that digital Sunoco racing fuel, and just, you know, put those fresh tires on and just scream for glory, right? What do you do, Brian?
I would take 4 freshies, just like as we see here with Philip. Philip's going to try to do it here, but the leaders just crossed the line for 25 laps to go. So
it looks like he's going to be the first one to gamble and be, the first one in to get the fresh tires, like we talked about here.
Problem is, how long, Will, do you want to stay out? Hey, if you stay out a while, you can take less fuel than 4 tires. Just enough to get
Yes,
you to
Christopher
the end.
Walken, you could. Just enough to get you to the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you sounded like him there for a minute. All of a sudden, you sounded just like him. I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway,
Anyway, Philip 1 lap down.
Yeah, because of the pit cycle that is occurring at the moment. Like we talked about, he was the first gambler to come down and take the chance to put on the 4 fresh feel goods to see if he can improve. There's always a chance of the undercut working. There's always a chance, and then there's a chance that it just doesn't. Justin not really going away from Richard. He was almost a second, but then he started to claw his way back. But he's almost got Hudson directly in tow. Hudson's having a great race if you just put aside the couple of incidences he's been in this evening. Pearson, Myers going, well, they were. Anyway, we won't talk about them. I was going to say they were going at it, but Bradford and Stipe going at it. Justin and Hudson. A fierce battle for second place, while there is a tremendous battle for 6th and 7th. Christopher Campbell was the next driver on the lead lap to take the gamble, bring his 68 Ford Dark Horse Mustang down pit lane.
You see there Pete Wood
Getting
coming
on.
out in the pits? Little onboard telemetry here. You see Richard John,
Yes.
Mr. Steve now in the pits.
Telemetry.
Yes. I probably said something different.
He said telemetry. You threw melon in there. You threw melon at the last part of, like, I could not pronounce how you said it at first. Just go back and hear it. You'll hear it. Trust me, it's there. I heard it.
If Richard and Justin can get off the pits now, they will be ahead of Philip Bridgman and Christopher
Get out?
Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah, they just got to get out. They don't have to get off.
That's going to be close.
That's a whole.
No.
That's a whole nother thing. There needs none of that tonight, Brian. Maybe after the race.
Yeah, you're right.
About to be that 20 lap. Well, it is 20. 20 to go. Brought to you by no one because, well, other besides Bearded Bear Customs, but other besides that, no one. Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, anybody else if you're out there listening, wink wink. Progressive, Geico.
Oh, looks like Joe's back in.
Maybe a speeding penalty exiting the pits, perhaps, Brian. Maybe that could have been the cause of him having to bring that Ford machine back down pit road.
Could be.
Or was he just leaving? Are you sure he was not just leaving?
I could have swore that he left pit road. $18 laps to go.
And that's checking in on the other one of the JS's, Jaden Sanchez. That is Tyler Myers getting by Jaden. Jaden having a quiet night this evening. He's just been a bit off strategy. I think he had to start in the back or something of that effect, and started in the back. I guess he just not qualified. Where'd he start? Anyway, and
Back.
yeah, that's right. And just been a bit off strategy all night. He won, if I'm not mistaken, he won the open setup race here earlier in the season on Saturday nights. I could have sworn it. So Just having a bit of an off night for old Jaden. I did not say the word old. I said old. Like, oh, never mind. I'm not going into that. So, 17 laps to go. When does Hudson, O'Brien, Sanchez, and Robert Amal bring their machines down pit road for their final stop of the evening? Bridgman back on the lead lap. He was the first one to pit. So at the moment, we kind of see that short pitting might have been the way to go, but where is Richard Johns RJ on the track map? That's what we're looking for. So not too far away from, PB, peanut butter and, I was going to say Jelly, but I guess Jelly's right behind him, JH, once I figure out who that is and not John Hunter.
Hudson.
Hudson. I have not learned Hudson's first name yet, so that's on me.
James.
Jimmy. Be funny if he'd actually be preferred to be called Jimmy, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be funny? Jimmy. So the car in front of Richard is not Phillip. The speck you see, well, that's growing larger. Who is that? Yes, that's Hudson. That is our race.
Yeah.
Is our race leader. And then Phillip is...
Oh no.
Oh no! Hudson was pitting that lap.
That's gonna hurt.
That's gonna break Richard's momentum as far as trying to catch up to the race leader, and hopefully didn't get too much damage to the front end of that number 17 Chevrolet. Should have found a tide paint scheme and been like Darrell Waltrip.
Right?
Because that's kind of who Richard reminds me of sometimes, is old DW.
The three of the Oilers machine.
So, I don't know what the gap would have been, because Richard was a lap down at the time, so his interval was not showing up to Bridgman, but there's about around a 5 to 6 second gap back to Bridgman and Johns, so I don't know what the gap was before Richard plowed the back end of the 28 before Hudson got into the pits. But I'm sure it could have been maybe less than 6 seconds. Laps, 11 laps to go here at Auto Club. I wonder if it's actually, well, I guess I Googled it earlier. It is still called, I guess, Auto Club, but...
I know they call it Fontana.
Yeah, I like calling it Fontana or California Speedway, or... I'm pretty sure in, there's a Herbie the Love Bug movie that was made with, oh man, she was like a redhead, like a brunette or something like that. I want to say she was a redhead. But,
I'm gonna say
anyway.
6 seconds separate Phillip Bridgman and Richard.
But Herbie, like, that came out whenever me and you were probably still, you're only a few years older than me, so like, it came out, I want to say like 06, 2000, between 04 to 06, like the Herbie movie that came out.
Yes.
Back years ago. You know what I'm talking about. That was mainly filmed here at Fontana. The Ford versus Ferrari movie was filmed primarily here at Atlanta. No, here at Fontana, and also Road Atlanta. Yeah, whenever they go to Daytona to do the Daytona 24 at in Ford versus Ferrari, if no one's seen the movie, I'm sorry to spoil it, but it's not really a spoiler because it's a documentary type of movie anyway. But anyway, they go to Daytona for the 1966 Daytona 24, right? And they use Fontana as Daytona. And if you're a racing purist like myself, you laugh at scenes like that where you can clearly see the Auto Club grandstands and the blue walls of Auto Club. And it just, when you don't see the big high banking of Daytona when it's supposed to be Daytona, it's very laughable, okay? So, when you claim to be somewhere you're not, it's laughable. Other than that, it's a great movie. I prefer anyone who hasn't seen it to watch it. But if you can just bleach your eyes for 1 minute, you know, while that scene's going on, like the 66 Rolex at Daytona, like, just overlook the fact that they're filming at Fontana. It's one of the last movies / commercials to be filmed at Fontana. The last commercial, I believe, that was filmed here, or set of commercials, is a Goodyear commercial where they use like Joey Logano and a bunch of other, like a handful of other cars, but it's a Goodyear commercial, but they mainly filmed here. It's on almost every week whenever there's a race going. It's easy to spot. But yeah.
Slowly reel it in just a bit. There's not, I don't think they're going to have enough time to get to him.
And, you know, time's just going to run out, I do believe. Like you say, I'm going to have to agree with you, Brian. Just don't think, unless we see one of those terrible towels get waved, I don't think anybody's going to have a chance for Bridgman, who, you know, fair to be said, you know, has had one of the dominant cars of the evening. Richard Johns, Justin Steeves, Philip Bridgman, and Skylar Sixton are like the top 4 dominant cars if you don't throw JP in the mix, as well as Joe Stipe. Those would probably be the 6 dominant cars of the evening, right? So, Joe got into the wall, I do believe, so that, or I know he got loose at one point. I think he also scraped the wall, but that's what kind of threw his top 5 away, I do believe. But yeah, just I don't think not enough time for Richard. Maybe if this would have been a 125 lapper race, maybe. But now this is just the distance a truck race would have been. The Xfinity cars, I think, is 125 or 130. But I think they might have actually, I don't remember, okay? Let's just put it to that. But I do know this is the actual length of what a truck race would be around here.
4 laps to go. I don't know. It is going to be very close. So Justin is now just starting to chip away at Hill.
Top 5 real quick in the point standings. Jaden Sanchez, 255 in first place. Jason Pearson in second. Christopher Campbell in third position. Brandon Moore not showing up this week. That's going to hurt. In fourth position in the standings. And Joe Stipe in fifth. So, Pete Woodrum, 6th in the standings. Aaron Bradford, 7th. Tyler Myers, 8th. Philip Bridgman, if he wins here this evening, this win could help him out. a little bit, gain at least a position or two in the standings, and then Justin Steves and Chris Cornett is tied for 10th position in the standings, Brian.
Yes, Justin and Richard having a very good run here tonight. Yes, you would have, Scholar. You absolutely would have. Very unfortunate that actually couldn't. That's for sure. You had a dominant car. That's for sure. Anyway, white flag is out. Philip Bridgman will win here tonight, and then Justin Steves, and then Richard Johns, then JP.
And Justin came on strong there on the final laps. He got by Richard and really got the gap down to under 2 seconds. He was really hard charging there at the end, so tremendous podium finish for Justin, I'd have to say. Justin coming on strong here in these past few weeks, getting top 5s, top 10s, top podium finishes. So Philip Bridgman going to bring it home in victory lane in that 48 Ally Hendrick 40th anniversary Chevrolet this week here at Auto Club for the B&R Bearded Bear Customs here on Thursday nights. And like we talked about, Richard having one of the other strongest cars, but he started in the back as well, worked his way up through the field on pit strategy, cycled it up. You know, he was up there and gets a podium finish on the evening. Like I said, there was about 6 in total there when we truly had long run speed. There was about 6 drivers that just had really great, tremendous, long run capable speed, and they showed it. So
that they did. Well, we'll see if we can scrounge up these fellas.
Just whenever I thought I was having a good day with the left hand, it's like, no, I'm coming back. Go away, pain. Come again some other day. It's all in the movement of the hand. Like if I stretch the fingers up too high, it's like, oh, what are you doing? You know those bones are broke. It's like, oh, come on, I just want to stretch my hand. Yeah, it's fantastic dealing with broken bones in your body. Or whatever this misaligned hand is supposed to be.
You know
it's
about
fantastic.
as much as I do.
Exactly. It's fantastic.
Up, Richard. Mr. Johns.
Mr. Brian. Mr. Will.
Mr. Richard.
What's happening?
I can't let my R's roll. I would be a fantastic villain, but I can't. Anyway, so you were one of the drivers that kind of started in the back, if I'm not mistaken. You were kind of racy early on because everybody was racy early on, but you didn't really, you wasn't trying to be. You were just riding out, getting some laps logged in, right? Caution comes out with about 13, 14 laps into the run. You decide to stay out, and it almost, in a way, worked in your favor to a certain degree, because then another caution came out that lets you come down pit with everybody else again, and really from that point on, You were up at the front. You were up there. Justin came out of nowhere. Talk about trying to avoid, some submarines out there and just having a blast. It looked like it was a fun night out there at Auto Club, Richard.
Oh yeah. I really originally wasn't even going to run this race, but I was like, you know what? Why not? Came in at the last second, joined in, was hanging around 12th, 13th place, and really couldn't go anywhere. And I was like, you know what? Let's just stay out at the caution. I was able to go 25 laps on those tires, and they were actually in decent shape, I thought. Was able to hang on to third place there when the caution came out, and then pit, and then drove my way back up to the front on freshies, and was setting sail there for a little while. And then pitting happened again.
Yes, pitting the phenomenal strategist, shall we say?
I honestly feel if I did not run into the back of the 28,
Yeah.
which was not on purpose, I did not hear him say he was pitting. I probably would have been up there with Phil. Me and Justin both would have, but
Yeah.
it was still a good run for the 17 Chevy.
Oh yeah, I would say so. If you're here next week, probably not, because you're still
Pocono.
Yeah, Pocono.
Poca who?
Pocono.
Yeah,
We're going
right.
up to the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania.
Pocono Logano.
And from we're just in the swing of big tracks because 2 weeks from now is Talladega, and then we're going back to the little tracks. We've got a Martinsville, Long Beach, LA Coliseum, New Hampshire field, even Bristol Dirt. Never mind, we're talking to him. Anyway, Richard, so yes, Pocono next week.
It could be fun. Just all depends on the strategy. It's going to be kind of like a Daytona or Talladega type strategy where, the sooner you get in, the quicker you can get out. I mean, it's just one of those deals, kind of like tonight. I think Phil was third or fourth when he pitted to make his last stop. He made it at the right time, took 2 tires, and was able to go by everybody. So, and then it was cat and mouse from there.
Yes, it was. So, Richard, got any final thoughts? Anything else you'd like to say? Shout-outs. Congratulations, by the way. Fantastic race. You were extremely racy from the get-go, like I documented on earlier. And you almost had it, I feel like. Like you said, if you wouldn't have tagged Hudson, Jimmy Hudson there, if you wouldn't have got James, maybe you would have been able to ram down Phil and had maybe that would have been a close finish because it felt like you were really eating into him. But yes, Richard, let you have your final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. I just want to thank Bearded Custom Works to come on board for the title sponsor of the series, and thank you guys for broadcasting, and thank all the competitors for coming out.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Awesome run, P3. You probably would have been right up Phil's rear end if you and Justin could have got there, but unfortunately, maybe 3 to 4 laps short. Kind of didn't work out, but
Didn't help. It got tight.
Yeah. Especially on this track with the cooler track temps. But a solid P3, I'll take it. Good points tonight. So keep charging, keep pushing. You've been coming clutch lately when you need to, so
Oh yeah.
keep the strategy up and just keep moving forward. I'll go ahead and we'll get you back up there.
All right, bud.
Bye, buddy. Next up, Mr. Justin. Hey, Robin tomorrow had a good run too. Just that daggone strategy. Anyway, Mr. Steves.
That was a little disappointing.
It happens. Strategy gets to the best of everybody, and fortunately, his strategy ended up working out a lot better. Anyway, Will, the floor is yours.
Yes, unfortunately, like we were talking about, the short pitting just seemed to be the way to go. Apparently, this evening at Auto Club, I kind of thought it would have been more beneficial to maybe stay out a few more laps, but he was able to put on at least somewhat of a well enough gap, to maintain that gap with your guys' fresh tires coming out a little bit later than what he did. But anyway, Justin, tremendous race nevertheless to finish P2 on tonight's race. To after all the hard fought battling that you did, tell us about how the car was reacting during those battles you were in. You were having to go from the top all the way to the bottom, or vice versa. Just trying to get around people at times whenever you guys were having those restarts that we were having.
I was just trying to have to not get too far drop kick on every single one of the restarts, because that car was only good for a long run, and I kind of assumed everybody was going to be running the top, so I practiced running that bottom line the entire time that we ran practice, because you can't pass them if you're running their trash. You got to pass them when they're not at.
Yes, excuse me, I got Pocono in the brain now. Yes, Auto Club, very, very difficult sometimes to pass whenever you're in the dirty air, the wake of another car. That it just truly upsets your car, right? And it almost drives itself, or just gets a bit tighter and just uncontrollable, right? So you're just waiting for that competitor to maybe wall it, or just get loose themselves on corner exit maybe. But yeah, next week is Pocono, like we were talking about. That really tricky triangle track up there in the Pocono Mountains. What's your plan going into that somewhat flat track?
That is a good question, because I have not ran Pocono yet with the next gen car that I can remember. I don't know, probably going to have to practice trying to figure out gearing, which turns I need to downshift in and upshift so I can get a better launch off the turn to pass people. Those restarts will be kind of tricky and probably not a lot of fun going down to the turn one, seeing just how wide everybody's going to be going to that first turn. That can be turn one. Every restart was probably going to be like a calamity corner.
Yeah, good possibility of that occurring. Well, strong run for you tonight here at Auto Club. Poconos next week, Justin. Like we already talked about, turn one could be Calamity Corner, or it could be the tunnel turn, or it could be that final turn 3 turn. You never can tell. It's almost different each race you go to Pocono which turn is going to get everybody. Sometimes it's all 3 in the same race. But final thoughts, shout-outs, anything before we let you go celebrate this podium finish there, Justin? By the way, just outstanding, great finishes or great runs that you've been able to complete here lately. Very proud of you, Justin.
Thank you, Will. As I say, at some point, I don't know when it will be, but I will get that first league win race on for the league in iRacing. I still am chasing that first one on here, but
it's coming.
I'll get it at some point. I just gotta keep putting into work, doing some studying and everything on the tracks and stuff, trying some different stuff out. I mean, I know it's fixed, but you can still try different stuff out for the car. I mean, to be completely honest, probably one of the first races I did where whatever it was for default, I went ahead and changed everything before I even turned a lap in practice. So I'm just trying to switch the stuff up, so hopefully I can keep the good results going, either put a full race together to get the win, or had to play with some little luck to try to get that first league win.
It almost looked like it had a little scuffle coming together with old Cameron there. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a doozy.
So yeah, there was a couple of 3-4 wide into turn 1 or turn 3, but getting out the race with a 0x and a second place finish. I was kind of.
Yeah, that's good though.
I was kind of hoping that it was either going to run out of gas or I was going to have enough time to catch him. I mean, me and Rowdy probably could have gotten to him, but he started pushing tight because he got damaged when he hit the back of the 28 car because nobody really heard him key up that he was going into pit, so that kind of killed the momentum where I just finally had to drive around him. And I didn't really have to help to get up there then after that.
Yes, sir. But anyway, sir, awesome run here tonight. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, or anything you want to give before we let you go?
Well, a shout out to you guys for, calling the races, broadcasting the races, anything y'all do to help keep the league up and going. See, Canadian Dry Baja Blasted Chicken Noodle Soup, because I have been sick all week, so hey, and you know what they say in actual NASCAR, when you're sick, a good finish will actually make you feel better.
You end up putting in the good finish P2, so it's gonna help the points out a bit, get you out of that tie you had there for 10th. But anyway, sir, awesome job on P2, and hopefully you can get it done at Pocono, and then I'll get you back up there.
All right, thank you guys.
No problem. Ooh, took him a while to leave, huh?
Right? But that can be Justin sometimes. At least he likes to talk to us even when he's not feeling well or after maybe coming up a wee short, Like I said, got that down to under. I want to give a shout out to, Dale Wonder Rap out there, finishing inside the top 5, or was it 6th? It was either 5th or 6th in the truck race Tuesday.
Yeah.
And now he's out there in the chat. Hey, Dale, how you doing? Doing it for Dale. And I believe also Robert. So
Yep.
now getting the race winner.
Two
Go
awesome
ahead.
people, Dale and Robert.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're good to be around. They got a good sense of humor behind them.
A good aura.
But anyway, we'll let you take over the race winner here, Mr. Bridgman.
Yes, indeed. Philip. Just a outstanding performance by you, Philip, this evening. If I'm not mistaken, either qualified. Where'd you qualify? First or second? You were on the front row, right?
Second, yeah.
Yeah, second. Because Skylar got first. Okay. But yeah, qualified on the front row, right? So we knew you had the speed. Okay, and we were getting kind of short to medium runs. So once we finally got a long run in tonight, I think he only fell back to about maybe 5th or 6th. So you were up there in like the top 6 cars that had a good run going, like the top fast 6 tonight, right? Anywho, and really, I kind of thought, but I was on the fence about maybe, short pitting would be the way to go. We never really saw like the short takers the caution came out in between that pit cycle that we were having earlier in the race to really see if short pitting was going to truly be the way to go or not. And anywho, so That caution caught everybody out. You know, there was a lot of wave around cars and so forth. So then, you know, about, I want to say right at the 25, or it might have been 26 laps to go, you came down, made your final stop of the day. You were the first one of the lead lappers to come down and, you know, kind of gamble, if you will, to maybe, hopefully, short pitting would be the way to go, right? We've seen before in the past at Auto Club or Kansas, kind of short pitting can be the way to go. And was that what you were feeling, Phil?
Yeah, for sure. Like, there was so much going through the head at the time. I started dropping back, like, I was out there, we were out there for a good amount of time anyways, and I knew I didn't have enough gas coming, like, or left in the, like, I wouldn't make it to the end. So, like, I kind of, just like, I noticed I was starting to plummet again. I was like, well, I'm going to take my chance now and hope for no caution, hope for them not having enough gas, because, like, I got the lucky dog there, and I know there was a lot of wave arounds. But I never pit, and I never got any more gas, and I did still see some people go down there and top up. I didn't know if that was going to be enough for them to carry it over, but yeah, I kind of took the gamble. I played the card right there on that one. I was not ready for it. I'm just honored to be able to bring the Hendrick anniversary car into Victory Lane. Like, Hendrick has been a big part in my life, like, as long as I can remember. I've been a Jimmy fan, like, for, like, ever, so, like, just being able to bring their anniversary car into Victory Lane is pretty nice.
I feel like I would try to be running like the Hendrix car, but I would want like the 25 instead of the 5, because like the 25 was the original OG number. Well, it was actually the 5. I take it back. Anywho, let's not get crazy over. Yeah. Anywho, I just like the 25 more. Anyway, you know, Tim Richmond. Anywho, but but yes, here tonight you just had an outstanding run here. I'm gonna say you led the most laps. So you know, just outstanding performance here tonight at Auto Club. Next week, Philip, is Pocono. Some would say Pocono, Pocoho, Pocono. Anyway, what's the thought, the preparation kind of going into that somewhat flat of a track? Turn one's not so flat, but everywhere else pretty much is. What's the preparation, the mindset going into Pocono for you, Philip?
Pocono's a tough one. My bad. Whatever.
No, you're good. Led the most laps. He was 2 laps short.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's okay, though. Anyway, Philip, my apologies. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's totally fine. Yeah, Pocono, it's not the best of races for me. Was glad to be able to pull through with this one. Like, I know I had a rough race last week, but to come out with a win like this week is just great. I don't know what it's going to be like for next week for Pocono. Like, I know that's going to be pretty... They don't just call it the Tricky Triangle for nothing. Like...
Backing up the turns and hitting your marks.
Yep, pretty much.
Don't keep it in
For
5th
sure.
gear.
If I'm lucky enough, maybe some more fuel strategy taking place.
Right? You're normally good whenever it comes to, you know, that type of stuff anyway, so...
Yeah. The last
There
time
was a
we
lot
were
of
there... Oh, yeah. The last time we were there, it went green all the way. Impressive run Tuesday, all 135 laps green. That was good. But anyway, I'll be quiet now, and I'll let Will take over.
Yes, Philip, congratulations again tonight. Outstanding performance. Dominant run this evening at Auto Club. You know, you were really controlling whenever there would be like a challenger. You and Skylar were going at it. Then Skylar kind of found a wall. You know, there was a submarine that kind of took part. He was white and blue. You probably saw him in your mirror a little bit. But anyway,
there was quite a few that were mad fast out there. I thought for sure, like, I wasn't gonna have it, like, down to speed anyways. Like, I knew Skylar was pretty quick. Richard,
Yes,
he was even pretty quick, and Justin, like they were the ones I seen the most that race. Like, I know CG was up there at one point. I'm not sure what fully happened there, but
he turned into a submarine. That's how Skylar got taken out. He needs to run the yellow Chase Elliott throwback car that he ran at Darlington one year. That's what he needs to start running so he could be a yellow submarine every week. Anyway, Philip, final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add before we let you go celebrate this win here tonight, bud?
Oh, for sure. Like, I knew there was quite a few people who were kind of down on me winning, so like, I know that's kind of motivation for me to try to keep winning, you know. And
There you go.
a big thanks to Leah. She's obviously always there supporting me, and Aerokinetics, Niagara Quick Dry, and you guys for putting it on. It's an absolute blast still racing.
Yes, indeed. It's a blast out there, seeing you go at it, like you said, trying to fight for these wins. It's a blast seeing everybody go out there competing, like Brian said, from the Truck Series to both the Cup Series that we have weekly here. So just hopefully best of luck to you next week at Pocono. Keep the momentum going, Philip.
Oh, for sure. Hope you guys have a good night.
Yes, sir. You too.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, Will, what a awesome job, I'm gonna say. Strategies all over. We were wondering who was gonna short pit, and we figured out who did it. Ended up coming up on top with 2 tires strat. So 2 tires did beat the 4. That's where they gained the. That's where he gained the most time. I was taking the 2 tires compared to Justin and Richard. That took the 4 tires. Overall, awesome race, I must say. And I'm sure you can agree too.
Indeed, Brian. It was a pretty terrific Auto Club race. I'd have to say, for the most part, your logo's a bit weird up there in the top left. Short track.
It is. I don't know
What
what's
is-
there. I gotta change that.
What's wrong with you, Mr. Producer, man? Anyway, but yeah, just an outstanding Auto Club race here at Fontana, California Speedway. So, it pretty much a typical Fontana race. This is almost what you expect, a few cautions here or there with the tight, close quarters racing that you will see, the pack style of racing from the initial get up and go to, they might get spread out, they may not, you never can tell. It all depends on truly the track conditions, and I think we had just the right track conditions to really keep them packed up all the way till when they would have to start pitting, right? So that's what we saw here this evening, and next week at Pocono, all depends again with the scenarios and the strategies and all that and the other. Just like what happens with motorsport, it's all in the racing. So next week, the Tricky Triangle, same bat time, bat channel, and until then, me and Brian would like to wish each and every one of you that came out, participated in the race, or that even came out and cheered on your favorite B&R Bearded Bear Customs driver.